I have chosen this topic based on the popularity of the smart city concept as well as digitalization in terms of us having a lot of interest on smart cities and using smart technologies. This morning you have heard several speakers also mention several things about smart technologies. For example, Dr. Naushad was talking about IoT security, which has similar type of alignment with some of the things that you're going to see here as well. Right, so all of us here, I think we will be having some of these devices. Many of us might be using some of these for our own purposes, personal purposes, including baby monitors or smart speakers at home. And a lot of us, I can see, are wearing all different types of bands and watches as well. So those are smart devices used by individual people. And when we have a lot of people using smart devices across the country or smart devices, then the country becomes a smart place. I mean, a lot of smart devices are around. Hence, if we define a smart device, we could say those are devices that has all these types of features. And at large scale, we could also say smart cars or smart doorbells or even a smart refrigerator could be a smart device that people might be using. And some of these images might be very familiar to you. You might even have seen driverless cars that are being used in smart cities. And at homes, you might have some of these Google Nest type of devices. And that's not all. I mean, smart technologies exist everywhere in all the aspects of a country. It could be consumer technologies, retail banking, or even used for environment monitoring. Some of the devices could be healthcare-based devices or even agriculture devices, because we have wireless devices that could be used for agricultural purposes. For example, soil moisture detection or soil moisture monitoring could be done wirelessly on some type of IoT devices. All these are examples of smart devices, but the important thing for us as individual people who are using these technologies are mainly about protecting ourselves, about security, about the impact of using those technologies. Therefore, for us as people, as a citizen, as a country, we have to be worried and we have to have concern for some of these points that I have highlighted here. For example, protecting yourself from ransomwares, protecting your data if you have several devices, or your financial information. In this case, it's very, very important for people to not fall into those scams. And you as a person using smart technologies should be smart enough to know what happens and learn more about security, basically. So you might be worried about the government or the law enforcement or even hackers having some form of monitoring on those devices that may not be legitimate, that may not be permissible, or that might actually be done without your permission. And I'm raising this point not to scare you for smart technologies or using smart technologies, but just like the way in the morning we were discussing about the importance of using smart technologies smartly. We as individuals should know how to use them smartly, because not every device might be secure. We might perceive it to be secure. So the security and privacy concerns and the interoperability and standardization issues are the main issues that are causing some of the smart technologies to be declared as unsecure or insecure, not secure. So not every technology, just because it does smart stuff, is secure. So this is an important point that us as individuals who are using smart devices have to be worried about, have to be concerned about. And that is basically because of these two major issues. This is an example of a case in Barcelona. Barcelona is one of the cities in Spain where they have used a lot of wireless devices across the nation for a lot of different purposes. In this example, this is for smart parking systems, something that we might be interested in, for example, in the Maldives. Smart parking, where you could the application name is listed in this name. It doesn't make sense for us, but it's an application used in Barcelona, so the name could be meaningful for them. The application identifies empty places where you can park, or a lot of information basically on a mobile application. In a small scale, it might be useful. In a large scale, in a large city, this is an important thing for people, a very, very useful feature. It's a smart technology. And another example for waste management, where they have deployed a lot of sensors in these kind of garbage bins. So what it does is it has sensors that communicate with a central system to optimize the waste collection or routes, or improving the efficiency, or even reducing the fuel consumption. In a large scale, in a long-term scenario, this is really helpful, and it saves a lot of cost. And in our case, for example, we will be thinking a lot about WAMCO collecting a lot of garbage across the country, and this could be a useful technology. And the idea here is not to say that these technologies are not secure, just to give you an idea of what a smart city might be doing using technology. And another example is also, another case in Barcelona is energy management. I'll take another example from Singapore. Singapore has some of the examples of traffic management using some of the things that we are also using. Healthcare, and even environment monitoring for improving the air quality, and all these things can be done on wireless sensors. Look at this example scenario. This is one of the countries has adopted a wireless booth, a wireless setup here, which is connected for government purposes. The citizens can, it's called Citizen Virtual Office. Any type of services that you get from the government, you can actually get it here once you step into this system. It's interconnected into different government agencies, and you don't have to queue up at the government stations. So this is an example of a smart technology that is inbuilt in different areas within an island or a city. Let's start with this example, which is designed for babies or kids at home. This is an IoT doll, basically. A doll that is designed for mothers or people who are away from their kids, to speak to them through this doll, basically. It allows you to talk to your kids through the internet, and it connects you through an application. And some of these technologies, as I said, they are smart, but are they really secure? So as people who are using smart technologies, we become more smarter by learning about these cases and by learning about how we can protect ourselves. This is an example of a scenario where this doll was banned from being sold to public. And that is because the doll was used by hackers to access into the house, to talk to kids, to talk to the children, and a lot of things have happened. Many scenarios and cases have been related to that specific doll. And it is a smart device. It can be useful as well. Another, at a larger scale for a smart city, for example, a driverless car or a car that has smart devices. Here is an incident where researchers have demonstrated that although the car is smart and it has a lot of inbuilt sensors and wireless devices, it could as well be hacked into, and it allows them to control the braking and control the steering and acceleration even. One more example of a baby monitor. A baby monitor is really useful for people because you as an individual who are walking away from home, you really need it to see what's happening in the room when the baby is asleep, or as a traveler, if you are traveling somewhere, it could allow you to access your home and see what's happening. And as we saw even this morning, a similar scenario where cameras that are built inside the home are accessed remotely by those who are not supposed to access them. A medical device also, this is an example of a blood sugar insulin monitor. It is also a wireless device that is inbuilt into the patient's body. Some of this is externally on the body. So the insulin pump and the pacemakers are also fallen into these kind of scenarios. I mean, not every manufacturer we can't say every single device that exists in this form is not secure. That is not what I'm saying here. I'm trying to give you more awareness into smart technologies and why we have to be wary of when we are using them and how to be smarter when we are choosing to use them. And similar concerns for home devices and similar concerns for industrial control systems, including home used refrigerators, smart light bulbs, smart locks. All of these are smart devices that we as people who want to go into a digital society where smart technologies are being used might be really interested in. And some of us might even be using them at our homes and in our office environments. So some of these devices are not really secure. The idea is, it is okay for you to have some of those devices and you are using them, provided that many of them are used the way they are supposed to be used. For example, let's say, for example, a baby monitor is really useful, provided that that baby monitor is not accessible to anyone else. You will agree that. At the same time, there are things that you can do as an individual who are using those technologies. At home, you might be having a device that records your voice, an Alexa or a Google Nest or any type of device from a specific manufacturer. I'm not mentioning specifically about Alexa or Google Nest because there is no specific scenario where those two devices are considered as insecure, or a case where those devices has been identified as insecure. That's not the specific point I'm trying to make here. I'm trying to give here an example of a situation where you have the control. It doesn't matter what type of devices you use. So delete the old recordings, mute the devices when the devices are not in use. There are some settings that you can do to protect yourself by going into the settings and hiding your privacy. So a smart technology in itself, it doesn't come with security by default. You have to make it secure and you have to use it secure. You have to design the network in a secure way so that others don't have access to it. Even security cameras of this sort can be accessed remotely. And it is a smart device and it allows you to see things from your smartphone. And the question that you should be asking is, do I actually want to see those screens on my phone when I'm abroad, for example? Do you really want to see your garage door opening while you are abroad on Sri Lanka or in China, for example? Is there a use case that you really want to have? So configure it in a way where it is limited, where you are using the smart technology at the same time you have used the security settings properly. And many of these devices might offer biometric authentications. They might have security keys. They might have multi-factor authentications. So enable them and use them properly. It doesn't matter what type of devices that you are using. Here is an example of a situation where why you need to protect yourself when it comes to a smart technology. This is an example of a fitness application where you are going for jogging or your sleeping cycles are being monitored and you are given fitness advices based on what the device is reading from your body. And those data is useful for you as an individual. And it's really good for you to plan your day out, a month out, or a week based on those statistics. But it better not share those data with that company X who is selling you herbal medicines and herbal products, isn't it? So the idea is the device itself is smart. You have to use it smart and monitor that the device is configured in a way that it does not share those information with anyone else. You don't want someone else to send you an email to advertise a specific product that allow you to become slimmer in a month. So this is the importance of protecting your privacy and protecting your personal information. And all of these devices, major issues are, they are probably have insecure configurations. The access that you are using, the credentials might be really weak and very, very simple passwords maybe, and they don't have encryption. You could easily check if they have these features. If they have these features, then probably they are better than those devices that doesn't have this kind of security in place. So we as a smart city, we smart country who's going into smart technologies could invest in technologies. We could make our roads smarter. We could build in different types of wireless devices to cool down our roads maybe, or even we can have a lot of smart lighting systems and all wirelessly controlled devices, but we just have to be smarter to not just trust any device from manufacturer X and buy them and use them, connect to them remotely and see through our phones or whatever. So this is not really the way to use those devices. So I hope you understand the important point that I'm trying to make here. Basically, as we discussed this morning, we have to be smarter. The technologies themselves are not really smart. We become more smart by learning about security, by learning in how to use them more securely, and use more smart technologies across the nation to manage our waste, to monitor our environment, and do everything else. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. WhatsApp to. The last session on the agenda is by Mr. Mandar Kulkarni, National Security Officer for India and South Asia from Microsoft.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mandar Kulkarni and I am the National Security Officer for Microsoft